Everybody, welcome back to my channel Trading Secrets. This channel is for entertainment purposes only. For those of you who do not know, my name is Ali. I have over 20 years experience teaching accounting, economics, business and law. Through this channel I'll be providing some stock analysis and a quick update on the $1 Million Challenge. So if anybody's not aware of this is a journey of an investment of $1,000 to a return of $1 million over a period of 3 years using a strategy called compound return investing. So the objective is try to get 201 trades, each an average return of 3.5%. It's not 201 consecutive trades. We do take into account losses. So for further details about how to join us for less than $9 a month, information is available in the description below. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you a top ranked stock which is currently up over 70% over the previous 6 months. There are catalyst impending, and there is also a key date, and this is in the sector of quantum computing. We're also going to be looking at MMTLP and news with regard to the UPC Committee, which were issued a staggering 22% of the MMTLP shares, and we're also going to be looking at trading data for 2024, trading at around $511 per share overseas in the latest legal update. So before we get started, let's have a look at what's happening in the market. So from CNBC we can see that the Dow Jones falls for the third day, losing 300 points as treasury yields are marching higher. We can also see bad news with regard to Apple, and Apple and Goldman Sachs have been ordered to pay over $89 million for Apple Card failure. So let's have a look at how the heat map has reacted. So again, we can see right now Microsoft is down, Apple is down quite significantly, in excess of 3%. Amazon is also down about 3%, Nvidia down close to 4%. So not a good day at all. And however, with regard to gold is doing much better, and we can see currently at 2,764. I'd like to start by sharing with you some of the stocks that we covered in our previous week's weekly watch list, and the one we're going to look at today is the symbol IONQ. So this was one of our calls. It was a great call, and it was up in the previous week approximately 24.8% on the week, so also known as IONQ. So let's have a look at a profile of it. This is a company that engages in the general purpose of quantum computing in the US, and it sells access to quantum computers of various capacities. So in terms of what's been happening, it has been making significant headlines in the stock market, and it's been reaching 52-week highs, and currently this was achieved when it hit a price of $15.5. So there was also a 36.33% increase over the previous year, and it's now doing exceptionally well over the previous 6 months. So if we have a look at what's happening in terms of revenue, the revenues reported were $11.4 million for the second quarter of 2024, and this was a significant beat. The company also secured a $40 million contract, $40 million contract, with the additional anticipated bookings of $12 million also shared in the Discord. And what I'd now like to share with you here in terms of some key news from the company website, we can see here, first of all, on the 22nd of the 10th, the shared information with regard to the company joining the panel at the Quantum and AI Summit in New York City. But the one I'm interested in is the one in the middle, where they are going to report the third quarter 2024 financial results November the 6th 2024. So keep an eye out on that. And if we have a look at the chart here and the general trading data, we can see today it's down 6% as the whole market is down. However, over the previous 6 months it is up over 70%, and over the previous month it's also up over 71%. Look at MMTLP and the latest updates, including the UPC Committee, who have been alleged to have approximately 22% of the MMTLP shares allocated to them. And we're also going to be looking at 2024 trading data showing trading in 2024 overseas for $511 per share. So what Scott has shared here is, first of all, he's filed his objections to Finder's motion to dismiss late last night, and in terms of triple damages, what he's also stated, he's tagged them with Sherman antitrust violations that allow for 3x damages under the Clayton Act. I know that Scott is controversial in terms of what he stated about Greg McCabe. However, I think this case is still important in terms of potential discovery, because that could still have a benefit. I don't agree with what he's saying in terms of making Greg McCabe the bad guy, because at the moment Greg McCabe is looking for the benefit of all of the shareholders. But nevertheless, nevertheless, let's move on to have a look at what Scott has stated. And he states here that this is his objection to FINRA's authority and motion to dismiss. So that's what we're looking at. And under section 3, he states here, first of all, FINRA does not have immunity because it's acted in commercial interest and is therefore subject to suit because it did not act within the regulatory duties. The chain of events that led to the U3 halt were nothing less than sequence insider trading facilitated by FINRA and also by the same people who benefited financially from the December the 9th trading halt. And then we can see here, let's now move on to the UPC Committee. So this is again new information, and it states here the original distribution of shares to the following members of the UPC Committee on or around 30th of October 2021. So these were Tom Nicol, sent 26,000 shares, Stephen Paul Dapek in excess of 1.259 million shares, Steve Paul Dapek also approximately 573,000 shares. I'm not sure, and that looks like they are both probably the same person there, so he gets them from Pershing LLC and also from the Bank of Mellon. Kelly Hill, we all know about from Hilltop Securities, just in excess of 26,000 shares. And then this is, I think, is the biggest one, maybe the second biggest, and that is Joseph Iraqi Robinhood in excess of 12.8 million shares. Matthew Price Fidelity 125 shares. I think this is the biggest one, Matthew Price again, LLC Fidelity in excess of 21.012 million shares. So if we put it another way, they've been issued with 22% of the float for MMTLP according to the calculation. And now I'm going to share a post with you here from Meta News, and that is tagging in what we've just seen there, but also now focusing on a conflict of interest, because obviously they knew about the U3 halt. But this is only 7 companies and brokers out of the 100 brokerages that held MMTLP, and it's only representing 22%. So we're looking at millions and millions of potential counterfeit shares, and the UPC committee there potentially compromised. Let's see, go on to say what Scott states. He states here his action here is timely, as he and as well as others, including 65,000 shareholders at least, have suffered. No administrative remedies have been left, and also he is pursuing the writ of mandamus to make everybody whole and get 2 days of position close only trading. So that certainly would make everybody happy. He states here again, in terms of the reliance on FINRA, he was buying into a preferred dividend, so he did so in the expectation of a free and fair market, and I don't think we have that. And then in terms of the conclusion here, obviously his ownership of the shares and the corresponding rights to trade them fall squarely within the scope of these protections. FINRA's indefinite halt, implemented without any disclosed evidence or procedural fairness, they never explained what the uncertainty was, deprives him, i.e. Scott, and potentially everybody else, of his 9th Amendment right to economic liberty. FINRA's actions are arbitrary, unlawful and unconstitutional under the 9th, 5th and 14th Amendment, and he is urging the court to deny FINRA's motion to dismiss, and he's also requesting the court for leave to amend to add claims for which plausible claims and relief can be made. So let's now have a look at the triple damages, and what he states here, he's seeking reasonable attorney fees, triple damages, cost of suit, attorney fees, injunctive relief and any other relief that the court deems fit. And then now let's have a look at the trading data from overseas, and this comes under section 7, and he states here FINRA is allowing MMTLP, MMAT also to trade overseas through Tiger brokers, and I think we should say that was earlier on in 2024, facilitated trades on the Singapore exchange after December the 9th, 2022, L2 for prices as high as $1,000 per share. So let's now have a look at what he stated in terms of the screenshots. And the screenshots he states here display level 2 pre-market data for bid and ask, both for Nextbridge and Torch and the Singapore Exchange, and the dates here are from August 23 to March 24, with prices rising from approximately $500 per share to just over $1,000 per share. So let's share with you now one of these screenshots, and I've highlighted at the top the date that he states, and we can see here the date here is we can see it's the 24th of August. Sorry, it's the 8th. It's August 2024, 4:10 EDT time, and at the bottom we can see sell orders for MMTLP Overseas, for $511.50, and the bottom one is for 200 shares. So that's the screenshot evidence submitted to the judge to see what he thinks of that. And finally, thank you very much for watching. Please stay tuned.